What's up, everybody? Welcome to our team call tonight. I have hopefully something that's going to leave an impact on your heart and a renewed sense of purpose in your business. I don't have much by way of announcements tonight. Y'all are all coaches. You know how to find the announcements in your coach office. At the end of the call, we're going to talk a little bit about goal setting for the end of the month and ways that we can do that, especially if you're in the Strive to Shine group. We have a ton of variety on this call. We have people who have been in Strive to Shine, which is our push group. We have people from a variety of teams, and then we also have brand new baby coaches. So I hope that what I'm going to share tonight, and I offered this to the leaders of this Strive to Shine group, and this is a call that I actually did it was about a year ago when I initially did it for my team. So it's kind of interesting to be facing some of the same things a year later. I don't know if it's just this time of year, but it was really life-giving to look at this call that I'm about to share with you guys. And my hope is that it encourages you that you're not alone in what you're feeling in your business, but it also doesn't have to be a stumbling block for you taking action and seeing the success that you want to see. So I'm going to share my screen because y'all know that I love PowerPoints. Can everybody see that okay? It says our opinions are your obstacle. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see it? Yes, okay, awesome. So I do have some notes, so I'm gonna be looking back and forth, and I thought about preparing like a crazy amount of stuff for this call tonight, and really I just wanna share my heart because I feel like I have been through a lot of ups and downs in my business in the last, 3.5 years. And it is a lot of times when you're working towards a big goal, you get just steamrolled when something negative happens in your business. And you haven't been around long enough to realize that there's going to be ebbs and flows. And so when you get a coach cancellation, like Lord have mercy, I personally have seen more coach cancellations from myself in the last 2 weeks than I've seen in months. And it just comes and goes like that. But as someone who's pushing for goals, it can be so defeating. And sometimes we start telling ourselves these things that we don't believe that we're capable of the success that we have in our heart and the goals and the dreams and the visions that we believe. So we're going to talk about a little bit about this, and maybe it'll resonate with you and maybe it won't, but we'll see. So by show of hands, I can only see some of you, so I guess that's not purposeful, but by show of hands, does the opinions of others keep you from pursuing your business goals at times? Has anybody ever felt that? I know that I have, and I'm going to share that a little bit more about that here in a minute. So I have noticed a trend amongst my team and, within this Strive to Shine group, and a lot of times in my business as well. If more than 5 people come to me with the same concern, then I can usually bank on it being a trend in our entire organization. So here's what I want you to know. If you've ever second-guessed yourself when posting on your page or messaging a friend, I want you to raise your hand. Does anybody ever second-guess yourself when you're posting? That would be me. Have you ever let the opinions of someone else dictate your actions when you go to message them or when you go to post on your page? I know I do that like on the daily. So I've gone through many strange seasons in my business in this area. A year ago, I entered kind of into my first real season of this where I was a new youth pastor's wife, and at a new church that was really big, and I was terrified of what they were going to think of me because here I am, I'm married to the pastor's wife, and I'm walking into this situation where everybody knows who I am, and I have this strong social media presence. Like, you go on my page and it is blatant that I'm doing something. And so I was so afraid of what these people in my new church were going to think of me, because it wasn't just as straightforward as I don't care what those people think. Like, Donnie's job played a role in this, my husband's job. And so I really started to doubt myself and my business in this season because I was so afraid of what other people were going to think of me. So if you've ever doubted yourself in your business and wondered what other people are going to think of you and let that hold you back from your business, you're not alone in that feeling. So here's what I've learned. As coaches, we are opening the door to others to form an opinion about who we are, opinions that may or may not be valid or have any grounds to stand on. So can you think of people in your life or on social media that come to your mind before sharing your heart? Like when you sit down and you're going to type out a post and you go to hit post and there's someone that comes to mind, you're like, oh, what is so-and-so going to think of this? We all have felt that way. But what happens when we get pushback? The minute someone says something negative, it sends us into a downward spiral. I actually have a coach on my team that experienced this weekend. And she is just so inspirational. She's so encouraging. And she's like a strong force on social media. She leads with fitness. She's a trainer. And she has a strong way of sharing her story. And someone commented on her post this weekend and told her she was all into herself and all left this nasty comment on her social media. And it was just like a wind had let out of her sails for a few minutes when she was like, oh my gosh, do people actually think this way about me? But what happened is it's a reflection of that person's heart. It's not a reflection of her and her actions because she's inspiring people left and right. Her clients are losing like 20, 30, 50 pounds. That she is really making an impact. And that one person could have been a make or break moment in her business. I'm so glad she allowed all of us to kind of rally around her and say, no, it's not about you, it's about them. But as coaches, we're opening that door for that opportunity, and that feels scary at times. But what happens when we get pushback? When that negative comment happens, does it send us into a downward spiral of, I'm a failure, I'm not a good coach, I suck, no one wants to sign up with me, I'm not as good as such and such coach, I'm not as skinny as she does, I don't have this crazy transformation that she does. Why would anybody choose me as their coach? I want you to, does anybody recognize this amazing woman on this slide, right? Okay, so Melanie Metro, it goes down in like Beachbody history for being the mega boss, top #1 coach for like, it might have been 4 years. I don't know if it was 3, it might have been 4 years. She makes $2 million a year, okay? And I don't know if many of you have heard her story, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about her story. So Melanie Metro, 8 years ago, she started her business. She had no qualifications, no certifications, no business degrees in marketing or sales. She was a stay-at-home mom of 2 boys with an undergrad in psychology and a master's in education. For a long time, she let the opinions of others, what are they going to think of me? I'm not at my goal weight. I don't have the background for that. I know that I can relate to thinking those things. And she had people in her circle, like her inner circle, the people that were supposed to have her back were waiting for her to fail. If those people had a chance to poke a dig at her, they would. She would have people tell her that they would unfriend her on social media because of her healthy posts, and that she was annoying them. She would have people show up at her house for family functions with their own donuts and tell her, we knew you'd serve healthy foods, but we wanted donuts. So much backlash, and drinking her shakes and working out on vacation, she stayed consistent. The more personal growth that she did, the more she realized that she was doing was good for her. She realized she was actually changing her life for the better. There is now, okay, so think about that for a second, y'all. Melanie Metro, #1 coach for 4 years. What if she had people, there's more to that story. She had people in her circle who would literally tell her that she was going to fail. And instead of internalize, like she couldn't have let that knock her own husband was not on board for, I want to say it was at least 2 to 3 years. He was not on board for a long time. What if she had let that stop her from continuing to chase her dreams and this vision that she had? She's built an empire. She's changed not only her own life, her own family's life, but she has completely changed so many other people's lives and helped other women build successful, beautiful businesses that have impacted her. Impact and her reach just stretches. And so what if she had let those opinions of what other people thought of her be what held her back? There's no reason for anyone to pass judgment on what is bringing value to your life. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. So here's what happens. Who misses out when those opinions impact your mission as a coach? You do. I don't want you to play the victim in this scenario. Don't let this be an excuse to keep you from your dreams. Guess who misses out on that? You miss out. Your family misses out on the potential for financial freedom. You miss out on the joy of helping someone else succeed when you start to second guess yourself, when you start to feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not capable, or that person, what are they going to think of me? You are holding yourself back and everybody that you have the opportunity to touch by believing those things and those opinions that other people could potentially have. And here's what I will tell you, after 3.5 years in the business, most of what I feel in my head about other people's opinions of myself are completely fabricated nonsense. It's not even rooted in reality. And my fear is just that barrier that's keeping me from like touching base with somebody, and I could make an impact on them. There have been many times where I've been too afraid to send a message and been like, I'm afraid, what are they gonna think of me? I'll be honest with you, I still really struggle with this when it comes to my church network, because as the pastor's wife, I never wanted to go in and anybody to think that I was going in looking to sell a bunch of stuff to people. So I'm ultra sensitive to that. But you know what I didn't stop doing? I didn't stop sharing on social media, and I didn't stop being that presence and that light and connecting with people behind the scenes. Because I refuse to play the victim, and I don't want you to play the victim either. This business has provided above and beyond what I could have ever hoped for my family. And I realize that as new coaches or coaches that don't have a really big, strong business, and I don't consider myself to have a huge, big, strong business, but it's very easy to think that because you don't have that level of success yet, that you're not valuable enough. But if you think back to Lauren's call when she said that leadership has nothing to do with their rank, you are a leader among your network and the people that you talk to every single day. So when that negative voice of doubt creeps in, and there's only one person that suffers in this equation, and that's you. You miss out on changing someone's life. You miss out on helping someone break through a mental obstacle that they have. You miss out on helping someone break free of the chains of food addiction. And you miss out on that person that needs your friendship. You miss out on the income because you didn't go after your goal. You're letting someone else dictate your success. But here's the truth, guys. You're not hurting anyone. What you're doing in this business is not hurting it. I didn't plan to. I'm just gonna need to take my sweatshirt off. I'm getting sweaty. You are not hurting anyone. You are not promoting a product that doesn't work. We are not selling coffee crap that's gonna kill your insides. We're not selling a wrap. We're not selling something that doesn't work. What we are sharing with people is a lifestyle change that does work. So you're not sharing something that you don't believe in. You're not doing anything that is harming your body, but instead you're setting yourself up for lifelong health with this whole system that Beachbody represents. Everything you share should be authentic, real, and the product of your hard work and discipline over time. Everything from your morning routine to your mindset to what gets you out of your struggle. That is 100% you, and that's what you should be sharing. So I want you, this probably feels a little silly to some of you, and I totally get that affirmations kind of feel like a psychotic thing to do. But I personally have found such strength in the act of writing out my affirmations each day. And I really want you to practice that. If that's not something that you practice, for a long time I didn't, because I was like, this is so dumb. This is not going to change anything. But when I realized that all the other top coaches in the networks were doing affirmations and that was part of their daily routine, I was like, well, how come I think that I'm smarter than them? I should probably check this out. But I want you to look in the mirror and say, or write down in your journal and say, I am worthy of success. I am worthy of helping other people achieve their goals. I believe in what I'm doing. And then what else do you say to yourself? You're going to say, I will prove them wrong. All those people that you are afraid of their opinion, you're going to prove them wrong in a way that's graceful and kind and loving and leads with a quiet leadership, but you're going to prove them wrong. in this situation. When someone is spreading hate, that's not about you. Take the high road and show grace and put that boundary up emotionally. On the flip side of this, and this may be where a lot of you fall into it, because I fell into this category. Total transparency. I probably still fall into this category more than I would necessarily like, because I'm a peacemaker and I'm afraid of hurting other people's feelings. But here's the risk in that. If you do not have people that don't give you some flack every now and then you're probably not being bold enough on your page. You're hiding in the comfort zone and trying to play nice. Has anybody ever been guilty of that? I know that I certainly have been guilty of that. You're hiding in that comfort zone. A lot of time when you get backlash, it's because people don't want to face the fact that what they are doing right now isn't working for them. But they don't want to change. So it's much easier to point that finger at you than at somebody else. I really want you to think, let that sink in. They're so self-absorbed in their struggles that it's so much easier for them to point a finger and attack you than to realize that so much of what they're facing is about them, not about you. So change your narrative in your mind. What you have in this opportunity is a gift, and you get to share it. If you believe in what you're doing, you need to go out there and be bold. If you're telling yourself the story that everyone around you thinks that you are just trying to sell to them, you are making that crap up. Get out of your own way. That's the message that I want you to take tonight, because when you hesitate with at the end of the day, if you are leading with your results, you are leading with the vital behaviors, and you're leading with the true heart of helping people, then that is just a story you're making up in your mind about what other people think of you. And truth be told, if that circle around you is that negative Nellies like Melanie Metro had, then I'm not going to sit here and tell you to get a new circle, because I don't believe that's necessarily productive. But I can tell you that guarding your heart emotionally and still continuing to chase something that you believe in is crucial, because the people that are right for you and that deserve to be in your corner are going to come alongside you in time. So if someone talks, let them talk. You're not doing anything wrong. If you have a dream and a vision, then you have to go for it. Every great idea came out of someone who was afraid to be judged, but every great idea came out of someone who wasn't afraid to be judged and wasn't afraid to fail. So I really want you to think about this. Why are you coaching? Do you feel called to do this? When I think about, when I started 3.5 years, it was not a calling. It was not because I felt this strong sense that I wanted to change the world. It was, I wanted to pay for my shakes. And then in time, I was like, I really want to come home full time. And then over the course of time, it continues to change. Every 6 months, it becomes something different. And I have to really stay rooted in why am I coaching, and am I actually feeling called to do this? And every time I question it, I ask myself that question, and the answer is yes. And it's because I am so deeply rooted in what this company represents, and I believe in the mission and the way that it can change people. Is this a dream that you aren't fully chasing because you're afraid of what people will think of you? If you're surrounding yourself with people that do not lift you up, that don't inspire you and don't cheer you on, then if you need to look at putting up those emotional boundaries with that circle, listen to podcasts, go to therapy, lean into a support system, and remember that the opinions of others do not pay your bills. It's easy to hear that statement, but there's an emotional side of the opinions of others. When you think about posting on your page and you think about getting that negativity, or maybe you post something that you think is going to be thebomb.com and it's going to get like 100 likes and everyone's just going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so inspirational, and 2 people like it, and Instagram algorithms screw you over. And you're instantly, you internalize, I'm not good at this. I'm not good enough. So-and-so posted a picture of her in her hat and she got 100. I still don't understand that. I posted a picture of me in a hat and looking cute, and people only want to see when I look cute. They don't like 150 likes when I look ratchet on my social media. I could get butthurt over that, or I could say, look, the right people are connecting to me right now. The right people want to know my heart, and I am going to share that relentlessly. So be unapologetically you and make a difference in the lives of the people around you right now, today. But those opinions of those other people are not going to pay your bills. So be bold in your business. I want you to think of an area that you've been afraid to talk about, share about, dig into because of your fear of other people's opinions. Who would it help to hear your story? Assess your circle of people to see what they bring to the table in your life. I remember Brooke and I were actually on a call, it was probably a year ago, and there was a guest speaker, and she said, she took a sticky note, and she said something to the effect of, write the number of people that you trust with your dreams within these 4 squares of the sticky note. And you have your hard days, these are the people that you're going to go to about your dreams and aren't going to criticize you. On your good days, these are the people that are going to celebrate you. Who has your back? Who's in your corner? And so that was the activity that she had us do on the call. And I remember both Brooke and I at the time basically put our husbands and each other. And that was it, because there was no one who we felt like was in our corner at that time. And that's okay. We didn't use that as a reason to not build our business. So I'm going to layer onto this call of action tonight. For many of us, we are in a season of push. And here's where the season, I'm going to unshare this right now. We are in a season of push with Strive to Shine. And it's the end of the year. Most of us have goals we want to accomplish by the end of the year. And this is a pivotal moment for you and your business. You get to decide how this story ends. And it could either end with you internalizing the defeat of whatever you're feeling right now. And if you're feeling on top of the freaking mountain and you're rocking it, and I don't want any of this to take away from what you're feeling, because you may need this down the road, and this is just an opportunity to learn. But there's a lot of us who are feeling, the past 2 weeks in my personal life have been doo-doo. We've been sick. We're trying to sell our house. We're trying to move. My husband's in ministry. It has just been like the absolute most insane. I feel like I've had no time to work. I could either let the last 2 weeks define what the next 2 weeks are going to be, and I could go ahead and throw the flag of surrender and say, well, to heck, I'm not going to make my goals, so why even try right now? Or I could say, look, I can control what I can control. I may not be able to control the Success Club number that I'm at right now, because Lord have mercy, has it been a struggle this month. I cannot control if people say yes. You know what I can control? I can control my own results and showing up on social media. You know what I have not been leading with the last couple of weeks? My results, because I've been eating like crap because I've been stressed. I have the opportunity to rewrite that story. That doesn't have to be the moment that defines whether I do or don't succeed in my goals. And so I can control a certain amount of variables, and I'm going to take the time. We have 10 days. So here is your call to action. We have 10 days left in Strive to Shine, and more than that left in the month in Strive to Shine. So for those of us, so if you're new, we're doing a push group, push to diamond, push to emerald, that kind of thing. In Strive to Shine, we have 10 days. In 10 days, in order for you to qualify for your pot, you have to be at your goal in 10 days. And for some of you, that may feel so dreadfully impossible. And you know what? The only thing you can control is your actions. You can amp the number of people you're talking to. You can amp the vulnerability that you get on your social media. You can amp your own results. And you can head into the next 10 days with a renewed sense of purpose that no matter what obstacle faces that you face, you believe in what you are bringing to the table as a coach. You believe in what you're offering. You believe that you're going to reach that goal. And if you don't, you did everything that you could. And that, my friends, is enough. Okay? So I want you to internalize this pep talk. That's kind of what tonight was. It wasn't really a training. It was a pep talk to be like, look, we are in this together. And if the past few weeks have been hard, that's okay. You're figuring out what works in your business. You're figuring out how you handle business and life upheavals, because I know a lot of us have experienced that the last couple weeks. And then you go in with a renewed determination to control the controllable and to continue pushing forward to your goals. So What are your goals for the next 10 days? What do you need to get specific? If you are 4 coaches away from Diamond, you need to say that, okay, by Thursday morning, I need to have signed 2 coaches. By Sunday evening, I need to have signed 2 coaches. And you set your timelines by multiple day increments so that you get to that goal in the next, so you view it as your first 2 coach, your success club, your XYZ, and that's what you're working towards. So that's all I've got. Does anybody else have anything? Brooke, Lauren, anybody who wants to talk after me? I know I tried to keep it at 30 minutes. So let me look at the comments. Hold on. Was this helpful?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Who is it? Lauren, go.
It's me. I'll just hop in really quick and just kind of speak to, I feel like what Rachel's saying is so accurate, and the longer you do this and the more visible you get, the more you're going to, you know, open yourself up to opinions of others, and you still will always need this reminder, like no matter what point you are in your business. I had a really good transformation with Morning Meltdown, and you know, when it was posted by Beachbody, it got a lot of like really hurtful comments, and then that like messed with my head, you know, and obviously people commenting like, oh, she must have had surgery, and things that, you know, were trying to take away from the work that I had put in. And even though I knew I'd put that work in, it still hurt. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, or if you're just starting, like the opinions will always matter, but it's what you do with it and how you push through anyways. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing, and just know that it doesn't really go away. Even if you like are more visible, there will still be more. It's just, it might not matter as much because you're continuing to build your personal development and whatnot.
For sure. And I'll say people will come and go in your life that will have, I was reading through, and I'm so sorry that you've experienced that. That is so tough. I will say that my in-laws to this day do not acknowledge that I work. They do not acknowledge that I have a business. They do not, even though I bring home more to the table than my husband does financially, almost by double. They will not even acknowledge that I have a business. They don't ask me about it. They don't pretend. They have not told me that you look good. They have not told me good job. My worth is not tied up in their opinion. I know that I'm helping people. And just because they got their own junk that they need to work through does not mean that I can't still be living my best life and working hard and doing so with grace and compassion, and always staying rooted in personal development, because that crap is no joke. Okay, yeah, we got a bunch of in-laws in here. Man, they need to take some medicine or something and go like feel better. Okay, so if nobody's got anything else they want to say tonight, I hope this was helpful. My hope was just to like lift your spirits so that we can go into this week with just excitement. And at every turn, here's your challenge this week. At every turn, I want you to choose positivity. You're going to be faced with a lot of negative things in your business. You're going to be faced with cancellations, people backing out on share carts, people blocking you, people, whatever the things that you're facing in your business, you get to choose how you react. You can't choose that it happens to you. You can choose how you react to it. So I want you to be a resilient force of joy this week and go out and conquer it, okay? All right, I'll post this recording on the team pages, and we will see you guys next week. It will be our last call with Strive to Shine, and then we'll figure out game plan after that. So, love. See y'all next week.